So a few months ago, I was planning on starting to post videos regularly, but then university happened. So that kind of got sidelined for a bit, but now I have more time on my hands, so we're gonna review some shit. So these blasters have been out for quite a bit of time now, but they're definitely worth taking a look at, which is exactly what we're gonna do today. So let's start off, shall we? So this is the Zinc 2.0 by 118 Designs. This is the blaster we're going to be focusing most of our attention on, but we're also going to be taking a look at the Zinc 1.0, which came out in January 2021. As you may already know, the Zincs are Springer blasters, as you can already see through the plunger tube on the Zinc 1.0, meaning you have to prime the top slide to fire a dart. And they also feature slam fire, which is rather nice. Another thing to note with the Zinc is that it features a turnaround system similar to the Gecko and the Lynx, meaning the airflow is directed one direction and then it is turned 180 degrees to go down the barrel. Essentially, this just minimizes the form factor of the blaster while also keeping it super effective in terms of performance. Additionally, these blasters both feature a custom magazine geometry, meaning you can't use talons, you can't use katanas if you're still using that sort of thing. Like, get with the times, it's 2021, what are you doing? So I figure we're gonna start off with the Zinc 1.0. Essentially, this blaster was released in beta in January 2021, and as soon as I saw this thing shared on the NERF subreddit, I immediately jumped on this thing. Unfortunately, they don't ship directly to Canada, so I had to contact the designer slash seller of this blaster, and he was able to give me a really good price on the shipping. And as soon as I bought the kit, I immediately started printing this thing. Since the Zinc 1.0 was in such an early beta phase when I started printing this thing, I did come across some problems which are no longer present in the current file set for the 1.0, such as the front of the slide was on a 90-degree angle. It didn't have this little slope piece that you could see right there, meaning that if you didn't have the slide perfectly tuned, and if you were to fire this thing, it would hit the front of the frame and it would shatter it. On top of that, the Zinc 1.0 is a little trickier to print than the 1.0. For instance, the frame, you could either print it in this orientation and have a bunch of supports, which is why my trigger guard is as rough as it is, or you can opt for the two-piece setup, which means that you print the frame in this orientation and you print the rest of the grips separately so you can later fuse them together. But in terms of printing the Zinc 2.0, it's an absolute breeze, if your printer's tuned correctly, which mine wasn't. The combination of a misbehaving printer and poor filament made for some really bad times. The biggest issue I had was actually printing the frame in this orientation. Oftentimes the corners at the front of the blaster would peel up off the bed, meaning that nothing would align properly when it came to actually assembling this thing. However, I did try to assemble a copy, but it turned out really poorly. Basically, I had to sand off probably 5 millimeters off this front muzzle piece and quite a bit off of the front of the frame. So basically, when it comes to assembling everything, the trigger doesn't align with anything, nothing aligns with anything. So I just had to give up on this copy. But on my second run, yeah, this is rough. I got overly excited and I tried inserting the barrel into the frame only for it to get completely stuck, meaning I had to physically rip it out with pliers to get the barrel back. So I present to you the Zonk. It's a combination of my broken frame and a slide I tried printing which warped right off the bed, all crooked. So now they're perfectly mated, just as God intended. As someone pointed out on the 118 Discord, it literally looks like I tried to put live ammunition in this thing. But I make mistakes, so you don't have to. In terms of actually assembling these things, it's quite a bit of work. If we were to compare it to the Lynx, which basically falls together like an oversized Lego set, these are quite a bit more complex, not necessarily because of the mechanics, but really it just comes down to a lot of post-processing and sanding and fitting to make sure everything aligns correctly and works correctly 100% of the time. One of the trickiest bits about this blaster would probably have to be the slide and the trigger, because the trigger actually wraps around the barrel, because the barrel starts here, the trigger is here, and it goes over the barrel all the way to the front where the sear and catch are. But once you get them functioning, they are absolutely fantastic. Both of these kits include two main springs. One is a 788 spring, which will get you around 130 to 140 FPS, and the other one is a K25, which should get you around 180 to 200 FPS. And that's pretty good. Now, as much as I like my Zinc 1.0, the one feature that really blows the Zinc 1.0 out of the water is the spring-loaded mag release. Now this thing is absolutely awesome. I could just fidget with it for hours. It's literally so much fun. Like whenever I use this thing, I just feel like John Wick. I'm surprised that magazine didn't shatter. Another neat feature about the magazines is that the follower sticks out slightly when the magazine is empty. So not only does it keep you from dry firing your blaster, it actually signals you to reload your magazine because magazine's empty. Gotta reload. And you might have already noticed from me taking out the magazine, the Zinc 2.0 features a hybrid pusher, meaning you can take out the magazine even with the breech closed or open. Now the regular file set for the Zinc 1.0 doesn't have this, but you can find files that include a hybrid pusher for the 1.0, so at least there's that. But when it comes to picking one over the other, it's ultimately going to come down to personal preference. You might prefer the spring-loaded magazine release over the traditional one, and since these two blasters essentially perform the same, you might prefer the styling of the 1.0 with the exposed plunger tube, which is kind of understandable if you're looking for something for outdoor play, because this one kind of has a spooky real steel silhouette, especially with the colors I picked. Oops. So if you were to go with the 1.0 and a rather flashy coloring, you should be fine, but that's just me. It literally says in the first page of the manual for the Zinc 1.0 and 2.0, don't be stupid. Don't do stupid things, and you'll be fine. So all in all, the Zinc 2.0 is a 2.0 for a reason. I know, thank you, Captain Obvious, but felt like I had to say it. Both the Zinc 1.0 and 2.0 are fantastic blasters. Yes, they do take a lot of work compared to other blasters like, say, the Lynx, but once you do have them running, they are absolutely fantastic. They are tiny, they are super powerful, and they're just overall super enjoyable blasters to use on the field. And that's going to be all for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts, comments, questions in the comments section down below, and leave a like if you enjoyed this video, or leave a dislike if you didn't enjoy this video. I don't know, I'm not your mother, I can't tell you what to do. And I really hope to see you guys in the next one. Isn't that just lovely?